Welcome everyone who's here now, and I know a few other people are going to join us soon. And it always just feels so good to bring together all of our participants across Papua New Guinea and Australia taking part in the Secondary School Partnership Initiative. For those who haven't met me before, I'm Kathy Kirby, and I'm proud to be working on this program with the Asia Education Foundation in Melbourne and Australia Awards in Papua New Guinea. I'm the education consultant for PASS. And on behalf of our team, I'd really like to warmly welcome the school leaders, teachers and students from PASS schools across PNG and Australia. This is your program, and you all do the brilliant work that we're going to celebrate today. So there's lots to look forward to. And I'd also like to welcome Martha Marusi from the PNG National Department of Education. And Martha, it's great to have you with us again today. And I understand from Australia Awards PNG that at some point, Rebecca Gitson, who's the facility manager of Australia Awards PNG, will be joining us. And there's some other important guests joining us today, including Leah Santilli from the National Art Gallery of Australia in Victoria, and Loretta Hasu from the PNG National Museum and Art Gallery. Welcome to Kirsty Costa from Zoos Victoria and colleagues from Port Moresby Nature Park. It's just so good to see these dynamic collaborations between Australia and PNG happening as part of our past work. So, to begin our Google Meet today, I'd like to invite Elijah Kinnavong, who's a student from Hurlstone Agricultural High School in regional New South Wales, Australia, to deliver an acknowledgement of country.
At Hurlstone, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, the Dharawal people. The Dharawal people's land ranges from the Sydney Basin in the east to Camden in the west. We also extend our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders past, present and emerging, as it is here on the ancestral land that we strive to grow and nurture this generation and future generations to come. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much to Elijah for making that acknowledgement of country. And Mehdi Resha will now lead us in an opening prayer. And I think all of you know Mehdi, who plays such a critical role supporting PASS from the Australia Awards Office in Port Moresby.
So wherever you are in PNG and Australia, I'll lead us with a word of prayer this afternoon. Gracious Lord and loving Father, we come before you this afternoon. We acknowledge your goodness, your grace, your love, and your protection over our lives in the past few months of this year. I want to give you thanks and glory for who you are and what you are to us. Thank you, God, for taking us through in the activities that we were able to do in Term 1. Father, as we gather this afternoon, we want to thank you and acknowledge you again and ask that you will guide us through in the activities that we plan to accomplish this term in Term 2. Father, I thank you for the teachers, the students in Australia and in PNG in the partnership that we are working in. And Lord, for the facilitators from the different institutions who have been able to step in and support us in the different activities. Father, we pray that your guidance, your Lordship will lead us through in all the planned activities that we plan to achieve this term. Father, through your Holy Spirit, we ask that you will give us the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding in what we do this term. And so this afternoon, as we launch this session, Father, I pray that the Holy Ghost will lead us through. Father, I pray and ask this in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mehdi, and thank you for your leadership of this program. Now, we have coming together today to really celebrate the work of our students, our teachers and school leaders in Term 1. And it just seems incredible to me that we're only in early May, and yet you've all achieved so much in this program. And there's more to come, more excitement to come. So today what we're going to do is launch 2 Term 2 PASS activities. We're going to, one of them is the Student Reporters activity, which will aim to skill up our students to develop professional journalism skills so that they can report on and share what's happening in their schools and communities. And the second one is the Citizen Science Project, which is a really groundbreaking initiative to develop STEM skills and mindsets. And Kirsty Costa is going to tell us all about that later in our meeting. But the first thing we're going to do is really start celebrating what's been achieved by you all in term one. And what better way to do so, Leah, than looking at how our students are aiming to change their world. So I'd like to hand over in a moment to Leah Santilli. Leah's the outreach educator at the National Gallery of Victoria. And in that position, she works with planning and delivering education programs with school students across Victoria, and now PNG, Leah, which is fantastic. Some of you will have visited the National Gallery of Victoria in 2019 when you had the chance to come to Australia, and you may remember that visit well. I'm sure you will. So Leah's going to showcase what was achieved in the activity called We Change the World, and that was delivered in collaboration with the PNG National Museum and Art Gallery, with great appreciation and thanks to Loretta Hasu and Dr. Andrew Motu for their support of that program. And Loretta, I think you're here with us today. So Leah, tell us all about it. Show us what was achieved during that activity.
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Kathy. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's so wonderful to see you all again. Great to see that you have brought your students along for this wonderful celebration of your achievements across our special collaborative project, We Change the World, in Term 1. Now, as you know, We Change the World was a creative and collaborative activity that really encouraged students to consider the power of art and design to inform positive change throughout the world. And that world was the students' school communities, the communities in which they lived, and it could be as broad as society and the globe more generally. By creating their own unique posters for change, students have contributed to a virtual exhibition inspired by what's happening in their own communities and in the world more broadly. And this came about as a result of lots of talk, lots of discussion. We had some wonderful introductory and catch-up sessions online where we spoke about examples of art that have really driven change and impacted change in the world. We touched in to see what students were thinking about, what they were concerned about, how teachers were supporting the students through the production of their posters. And it gives me great pleasure today to be able to share with you the results of this project and have a look at these wonderful posters for change. I'd like to say a special thank you to Nicole, who worked quite tirelessly on putting this wonderful exhibition together. I think you'll all be very pleased to see just how wonderful your artworks look in this virtual exhibition space. I know I do. It looks it's very slick, it's very positive, it's very flash. So thank you, Nicole, for putting such lovely thought and effort into the presentation. And I'm very excited to share that with you now. If you would like to take a moment to imagine that we are actually standing in the middle of this beautiful virtual gallery space. And if we are visiting this virtual gallery, if we were there in person together, we'd be standing in the middle of the room and we would be looking around and thinking, wow, look at all of these amazing posters for change. Maybe we'd take a little seat along the back wall there and just stop and appreciate all of the amazing work that is on display here. Now, I don't know about you, when I first look at the examples of work in this collection, I feel really quite compelled to learn more about what is happening in here. What is this exhibition all about? So when you have time to explore the exhibition yourself, you will be able to get up and quite personal in a virtual sense to the works of art and design that the students have created. And anything that you click on in the space will pop up with a nice little explanation about the actual work that's on the wall. And we've also got a nice explanation here. So if I was visiting this exhibition with you, if I'm wondering, what is this all about? I would discover that this is an exhibition called We Change the World, and it has been populated with amazing posters by students in Papua New Guinea and Australia as part of the PAS Schools Collaborative Project. And we've got students here from years 9 to 11 who are exhibiting their work after exploring the power of art and design to inform positive change in the world. And I could see immediately when we were coming together to first talk about this project that the students across both countries, no matter where their schools were located, were thinking about the environment, local and global issues, and STEM. They were thinking about what mattered to them, and they created posters for a change that was quite special to them, something that they really wanted to see change in locally, or I guess in a more sort of global sense. So we're going to get a little bit closer to some of these works now, and where we've got students or teachers from the school present, it would be great to actually invite you to speak a little bit about what you have done. So let's start over here. We have a very bold and striking poster design. Let's see how close I can get. Keep that in view for you. Wonderful. This looks absolutely terrific. Great. I think we could all see that nice and clearly. So when we look at this poster immediately, I guess we're looking at maybe symbols to do with science and technology. This amazing fine detail, beautiful symmetry in this poster here. And here we have the title of the artwork, Advancing in STEM, a flag for this idea. And this is from Keravet National School of Excellence. Well done. This is such a striking and eye-catching poster design that represents Keravet National School of Excellence, advancing in STEM. And the students here have designed this art piece or this poster of symbol and colour for a flag. We've got these amazing representations explained here as well. We've got red, black and gold, green representing the forests. So the hornbill in the centre here, we've got or the Kokomo, red, black and gold, sort of filling out from the middle, green representing the forests, blue representing the marine resource, brown representing the land, red, black and gold, spilling out from the middle, representing our country, Papua New Guinea, and the STEM symbols each represent different components of STEM. So this represents the progress that you've made at your school into the future with STEM, and the idea that we must advance with technology, but we must do so in a sustainable manner. We must always consider sustaining our natural resources. So there is a lot of thought and consideration that has been put into this amazing and eye-catching design that is so symbolic and so special to your school community. So I'd like to congratulate the students at Keravet for completing such a striking and thought-provoking poster. All right, let's have another look around here. And I can see now we have this lovely poster here as well, just next door. And this is from Vanimo Secondary School. Let's see what they're interested in as well. This piece of work is called Grow Like a Seed. And this poster by the wonderful students at Vanimo Secondary School, they'd like to share, I guess, a positive image, a change that must be rooted from our whole being. So this idea that change must come from within. Be the change that you want the world to be. I love this idea of not just hoping for things to change, but noticing what it is that's important to you, how that feels inside of you, and really let that power and that feeling take charge so that you can actually do something, set an example, let that change, grow and flow from you. I think this is a really important message, because it doesn't matter where you are or where you live or what's going on. We can all be the change that we want to see in the world, and we can contribute to that. So that is an incredibly positive message for people to view. And it is also accompanied by all of these wonderful symbols of growth and development for our world and community and resources as well. So great work. Thank you, Vanimo. Let's see, on this wall over here, we have some striking works of art. Let's see, we have some submissions from Warren National School of Excellence. While Daisy's just getting her technology sorted out there, I just want to comment on the really unique artistic approach to making these works. They look like they might be paintings, prints, mixed media. There's a real very immediate and responsive quality to the way the material has been applied. We're looking at one here by Samuel. This is a very powerful piece commenting on domestic violence and the negative emotions that result from violent outbursts. Such a strong and aggressive and, heated use of color there as well. Well done, Samuel. How's Daisy's connection going, Nicole?
I've seen she's actually just dropped out.
Oh, okay. Hopefully she can watch this later on with her students. Thank you for trying, Daisy, when you do watch again. Another really amazing submission from Nugunitisia. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. And this is a painting. We can see that this has to do with the effects of global warming. Wow. And I can see that the poster or the painting is sort of split in half, and one half looks really lush and beautiful and fresh, clean skies, lush forest, this beautiful healthy tree, but the other side is a very different story. And it looks like we're dealing with ideas to do with logging and mining industries and other developments, and the negative impact that these processes and these efforts are having on the environment. Very stark, different looking interpretation of the environment here, where it's very dry and red and barren. Can feel the contrast in the temperature, one side being very cool and fresh and the other side being very hot and dry and uncomfortable. A very powerful poster. Thank you so much for submitting, Nugunitisia. And we've got one more poster. Here, another one that looks like it could be quite environmental. Wow, what an incredible design. And this one, oh, I think actually this one might be by Nugunitisia. Perhaps the previous one might have been by Wongatine. Apologies for making that mistake there, Wongatine, if I mistook your names there. Overall, a very creative school, though, I have to say. And what an amazing and powerful design. Again, thinking about the environment, it looks as though the earth is melting, maybe melting and disappearing, like the ice caps of melting you've mentioned in your statement here. This is about global warming due to industrial fume and smoke, the pollution that is causing the melting of our ice caps and ultimately, I guess, the melting of our planet. Very powerful statement. Some incredible painters at this school. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much for your contributions. All right, let's have a look on the other wall here. And we might have a look at what's happening over here. Wonderful. I am immediately taken by the project or the poster title that we changed the world. There's something going on here that says maybe a change did happen, something to do with recycled tires. So this is very intriguing right from the beginning. And I'm wondering if there is someone from PASAM who might like to speak about their poster submission.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Okay. Hi. We based our project on the title, We Change the World. We see that we can change the world in a very little way in the little community that we are living in. Okay, we have a lot of problem with waste management in our province, so we decided that what we are doing in our school, actually, that's what we are doing. We are using the old tires to recycle them and make grow flowers, okay, in our school. So we decided to use that as our project. The picture there. That's what we are doing in school, just to change the way we are doing things.
That's excellent. Well done. I love the fact that you actually did enact the change. You thought about what you could do. You had an idea for a project that reached beyond the scope of just the poster, and you actually have an idea that you could put to use, and you created this beautiful flower bed out of these tires. And I can see that you already have changed the world. The question I normally ask students is, so how do you think your poster can change the world? But you actually did. So the question I might ask you is, do you hope that this project might encourage other people to do the same thing?
Definitely, yes.
And do you think there will be further changes to your school and maybe to your local community as a result of this project?
Yes, definitely. There are a lot of visitors coming into our school, and they're seeing what we are doing here, and they are motivated by what we are doing. And I believe that they will get the idea from what we are doing to change the little community that they are living in.
Oh, that is terrific. Well done. And I'd like to thank you all for your contribution, and again, congratulate you on a really successful project. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. So I think we might also have someone to speak to us from Cherrybrook. We have a couple of submissions here from Cherrybrook Technology High School in New South Wales. Well, it's great that on this wall we have works from PNG and Australia side by side, touching on the different issues that students in both countries are thinking about. And if we have a look at this wonderful submission this might be a work from Harshal, who looks like we're touching on land degradation, considering about industrial action and industrial activity, and sort of demonstrating here some pretty stark statistics. So it's really interesting that Harshal is using stats and figures. And I know when we were exploring the exhibition We Change the World that was on at the NGV, we did look at some posters that used pretty grim and alarming statistics to make a really powerful point. And with the black and the white, the strong contrast of colors and these really alarming statistics, this type of poster really makes you think about what's going on and causes a bit of concern. So I hope this is going to bring about some positive change for the land of Australia and the also all of the Indigenous communities that are so closely connected to that land as well, and all the life that land supports as well. And also from Cherrybrook, we have a poster here by Jasmine. And Jasmine is interested in sustainable eating and is encouraging people with this poster to think about how they can make a positive impact on the environment by eating more vegetables and more plant-based food. So considering our meat consumption, considering the impact that has on the environment, and maybe making some changes to our diet. So I hope that is something that, Jasmine, you have been able to encourage maybe the people in your immediate family or school community to do, an important issue for the environment there. And I think the availability of food to everyone equally around the world is a really important issue that we all need to think about and consider. All right, we've got a few more posters left here. We have some submissions from the Port Moresby National School of Excellence. And I believe this is a group effort by a group of students, Serafina, Joseph, Junior, Orly, and Francisca, I think, or Francisca, all worked together on these posters. And so this first one here appears to be looking at politics. It says in big bold letters that true leaders don't buy votes, they earn them. So something about authenticity and corruption perhaps in politics, and something that's, you know, well, it's very important to, I know, people in Australia. I think there might be some important political decisions that may be coming up in Papua New Guinea as well. And this one here is also something that has to do with politics as well. Don't be blind to corruption. Change starts with you. A very, full and perhaps big grin here, eyes covered with what, I wonder, money perhaps. And I've just received a message saying that Serafina from Port Moresby is here. So I'm going to step away from this wall and ask Serafina to maybe comment on these amazing posters that you worked on together at your school. They're fabulous. Well done.
Affects everybody in our nation it's something that's hard to get rid of. Everybody is a part of corruption, especially like nepotism. I'd say in PNG we say one talk system. There's a lot to do with one talk system, and and that there are groups that have been, committees that have been formed to work against corruption. So we have like the anti-corruption organization, the Ombudsman Commission, the Independent Commission Against Corruption. We have a National Fraud Squad. We have groups like this, but there isn't a lot of progress in stopping corruption in our nation. Progress is very slow, and not a lot of funds are given to this section. So we hope that, like, with our posters, we have at least shown to some people, especially during this time. Actually, we have elections coming up, and a lot of people are being, like, sell their votes. A lot of people sell their votes for money instead of, and they don't realize that, yes, they receive like a small amount of money for their votes now, but if it affects them and everybody else in the long run. If they want better education system, then don't sell your vote. Vote for somebody that will help build the education system that you want for yourself or for your kids. Or if you want services, health services to reach your village, then don't sell your votes to people who will only use the money for their own interests. So yeah, that's so we did these 3 posters for that. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you, Serafina. I can tell that you are very knowledgeable and very passionate about this topic, and I really commend you and your fellow students for tackling such a serious problem across your country at such an important time with an election coming up. So it's very timely, and all of these posters are individually very powerful, and when we see them all together, I think they make even more of an impact. So I certainly hope for you that your posters have, been able to make some change for you in your community, and I hope that for you in the future, you can feel more satisfied with the way that people are, exercising their right to vote and making the best decisions that they can for their country and their people. Well done. Thank you so much. All right. We have just one more wall of posters to have a look at. Just these ones over here. Let's have a quick look. And I wonder who we have over here. St. Gabriel's St. Gabriel's Technical Secondary School. We've got some work from Kingsley and Nerlin, Salinci and Matthew, I think, along this wall. Wonderful. And let's see, we've got a comment here about equity, particularly in schools. Maybe that's something that is, overlooked by sort of larger governments and organizations. A very bright and colorful, eye-catching response to waste management, thinking about how we dispose of our waste in our local environments. Homebrew is something that I learnt about just recently, actually, in one of our previous sessions. So here we have, we've got some students here tackling how this might, affect young people, how the consuming of homebrew has a negative effect and health effects on the community. Very simple, very powerful poster. Powerful posters can be quite simple in their presentation, but also can be quite detailed and invite people to have a close look. And also, I guess, responding to previously what Serafina was just talking about, it looks like students at St. Gabriel's Technical Secondary School are also thinking about political corruption and what that means for the upcoming election. I'm sure students in Australia are thinking a lot about that as well. And just finally, we have this beautiful illustration, so soft and gentle, but also incredibly powerful in its statement. This looks like Kingsley is making quite a big statement about violence, perhaps towards women. That's definitely something that we spoke about in one of our previous catch-ups as well. And it sounds like, Kingsley, you're hoping that this poster will make men and boys think more about how to behave respectfully. And I like this line, choosing the right way to solve problems and maybe moving away from violence. I think this might be our last poster here. Wonderful. And this is also from St. Gabriel's Technical Secondary School. We've got a work here from Salinci, dealing with conservation, looking at the bird of paradise, the national bird in PNG, tied very closely with your nation's identity. And you're concerned about the life and the longevity of this bird because it is hunted and killed, Salinci. So this is a beautiful poster, really highlighting and celebrating the beauty of this gorgeous animal, so softly and beautifully drawn, yet contrasted with this really strong and powerful statement to conserve. And I hope that the message in your poster is reaching many, many people, and that this bird can live safe and can live a long life, since it is so precious to the people of PNG.
Look, thank you so much, Leah, for showing us the posters that the students have done. I think everybody here would agree what good hands we're all in for our future. It gives me complete hope for the future, seeing our students work here. And Brett Clements commented in the chat that the future of PNG and Australia too is in the hands of our young people. So it's really great to see these posters from We Change the World. So a big round of applause for all of the artists, and to you, Leah, and also to Loretta at PNG National Museum and Art Gallery for supporting this work. Just really fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. And I agree. I think we are in very safe hands. We've got some very powerful voices that are prepared to be heard, and very optimistic for the future. So thank you very much for having me along. It was a pleasure. Well done to everyone, and enjoy your Term 2 projects.
Thanks very much, Leah. We know that you have to go now, so just very much appreciate you coming and doing the presentation today. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Okay, bye. Okay, so in addition to We Change the World, students in Papua New Guinea and Australia participated in 2 other collaborative activities. And we started the year getting to know each other through the Photo Friendships and activity. This was developed by the Australian Film, Television and Radio School, and the challenge was to use a mobile phone app to take 1 second of video each day to tell a story about your life. And I've loved watching the results and have particularly enjoyed the creativity shown in the Photo Friendship stories. And you're going to see a little compilation in a moment. And we often make little video clips of our projects, and the person who does that for us is Baden Finlay. And Baden, I think you're here with us today, so thank you for this great work. But Nicole, let's take a little look, a little snapshot of some of the Photo Friendship stories.
Photo Friendships is a chance to capture everyday life around you. 1 second snippet every day and collate that into a video format. You end up with what a person's perspective is, what they see every day, what they do every day.
My school photo friendship video involves the daily life and the routine of the students and the teachers of the school. It also tells of the rules and the cultures of the school, the environment and the students.
And that can help them to make comparisons between us. They will understand the different cultures from different people.
Most of the time, you just walk past the same thing and you're not paying any attention because it's not that significant to you. Once you take a photo of it, it's kind of acknowledging the things that you don't appreciate that you should.
I think they would sympathize with some of our activities that we did, like girls bringing water from the river. Maybe in Australian schools, they do not have those things.
You can see how urbanized my lifestyle is in comparison to theirs. In Australia, we've kind of lost connections to lots of family and like close-knit groups, whereas they've still got like very tight communities and can really see each other.
I've learned the importance of exchanging life experiences and with other people as it strengthens relationships and forms a bond.
With this program, Photo Friendship, it really helped me with that digital skill.
I think by doing this, it's better to understand others around the globe.
It really is a nice way to share and develop those friendships with those schools.
Fantastic. And if you go to the PAST website, you can see so many submissions of those little photo friendship stories and learn a lot about each other as you do so. So our second activity was exploring the world using Google Earth. And Dr. John Bailey, who some people met when he came up to PNG in 2019 or early 2020, I think it was, John set us a real challenge in term one to learn the software, learn the Google Earth software, and then create a Google Earth story relevant to our own local community. And we were blown away by the work the students did. So just to give you an idea of it, let's hear from students at Cherrybrook Technology High School in New South Wales. This is a recording when they showcased their Google Earth story during that activity. Thanks, Nicole. Let's have a look.
And we're keen to show off our school, and what we've done is we've just made a whole bunch of plots showing off our local environment and what life is like here. The very first thing we want to show off is our high school, Cherrybrook Technology High School, and just some of the pictures we have of our location. This is our beautiful basketball court. This is what a classroom looks like here in Cherrybrook. Basically, this is a classroom for geography, economics and commerce.
This is one of the most popular shops in Cherrybrook. It's the Cherrybrook Village. So one of the most popular restaurants in Cherrybrook shops is the Brook Eatery. They have really, really good food.
Refuge Rock is it's a really lovely place, and it's part of Barara Valley National Park. It's really beautiful. It's got a lot of Australian wildlife like echidnas and blue-tongued lizards and bush turkeys, and it's got golden wattle and other Australian flora.
So Greenway Oval is backs onto the back of our school, and it's where sporting activities within the school and like the community are held. So like AFL, soccer, cricket, rugby.
Soccer at the local park.
This is where games on like the weekends, for example, played.
We basically exist in a very leafy area, and we head off over to Hornsby, which is about an 18-kilometre walk. Nowhere near as steep as the Kokoda track that I did back in 2016 and 18, but still a great walk to get out and about and see nature at its best. And the last one I think I've got is on the way, on this same track, we have to cross another creek, and there's this sandstone outcrop where the water has to squeeze through a range of gaps. It's called the wash tub. And that's a snapshot of Cherrybrook. Not only our built environment, but also a bit of our natural environment. I did like the fact that you, the collaborative aspect to it. I felt it provided lots of opportunities for students to work together on a range of different areas so they can actually build towards their strengths. You know, kids who like to be more visual oriented can look after the photos. You can have people who are more oriented towards doing the literacy aspects in terms of the stories, could focus on that. So I really like that.
Well, wasn't that fantastic? And once again, there's a lot of submissions on using Google Earth on the PASS website. So really urge you to go and look at those stories. How well did all the students do at learning what's quite sophisticated software to be able to create those stories about their local communities? Congratulations, everyone who took part in that activity. So Teacher Professional, we've just talked about two of the collaborative projects, and teacher professional development, of course, is a key focus of PASS and has been a really strong focus since we first all came together in Port Moresby in 2019. In the project that we did in Term 1, the Effective Learning Action Research Project, we focused on two things. One was to teach our educators how they can do little mini action research projects to enhance their teaching and learning. And the second thing we did was focus our project on engaging girls more in STEM. And so we've created a sort of model project that you can actually use the tools in a whole lot of different ways. I want to thank Bettina Carl, who's the STEM teacher at Kerevat National School of Excellence, for giving us a snapshot of what you did, Bettina, in your Effective Learning Action Research Project. Okay, let's hear from Bettina.
Hi, this is Bettina from the Kerevat National School of Excellence. I am the grade 11 STEM ICT teacher. What STEM inclusive micro-teaching strategy did I try in my classroom as part of the Effective Learning Action Research? Firstly, I arranged my students into groups of a mixture of equal number of boys and girls. I had the students choose the name of their group after a software application which was their favorite. And then I arranged the students to delegate equal number of tasks among themselves. What was the impact on the students and the school community? Now, the project the project name was a motherboard. So I found old system boxes, made makeshift workbenches out of the student desks, and allocated each system box to each group to work on. Now, what did they enjoy most about the Action Research Project? Now, they enjoyed creating the PowerPoint presentation for that project and also writing up the research report. So after they had presented their project, they also told me that they found the project very interesting, and their group participation and collaboration in making the project successful, as I observed, was exceptional. Thank you very much, and that is all from me from Caravat National School of Excellence.
Great. Thank you so much, Bettina. And there were many stories like Bettina that came out of this activity. And we did a wonderful thing, and we used WhatsApp to gather all those stories together at the end of that activity. So we had a really good record of them. And I know that everybody involved in that activity could see that they could use this model to explore other areas of curriculum using this approach. So I hope and urge all of you to have another go at that. It's just a very simple program of steps that you can follow. So we haven't finished yet with what you've achieved in Term 1. There were 2 other major professional learning programs delivered in Term 1 in PNG. And Anna, I wonder if you're back online. Are you?
I am, Kathy.
Great. And I wonder if you could give us a little insight into what you did in the second round of the Leading Learning Programs when you visited PNG Highland Schools in Term 1.
Great, thanks, Kathy. And good afternoon, Olga. So lovely to see everyone again. And I'd like to start by just thanking everybody and congratulating all 12 of the past schools on some of this work that we've seen come out of Term 1. It's just incredible to see. And having the students along today, we always love that too. So thank you for being here. So through the Leading Learning 2, you will know that we went around since September last year and visited each school for about 4 days. And it was to support professional learning and focused on growing digital and online skills. So we did that, that space around the Digital Skills Builder, which you all still have access to. I hope you're all using it. And doing a dive into some of those e-safety guidelines and responsible use. We did spend a little bit of time reviewing the quality of our schools through the National Quality School Standards Framework. And from that, we identified some areas for commendation, maybe some areas for improvement, and if there were any areas for strategic intervention. And so as many of your teachers will know that, and leaders who are in this in PNG today, is that we used those areas for commendation and improvement to lead a strategic planning process. So as part of that, we did use design thinking, and we collaboratively developed some actions that we could document on our school learning improvement plan. And so from there, what we have got is, of course, all of this really fantastic thinking that our teams have done together. Okay, this process taught me so much about like the incredible education leaders that we have in our schools and across our greater past community, and the many, many creative ways that all of you have, you know, designed ways that you can improve aspects in your school that you thought were most important. What I will be doing is I will email you in the next couple of weeks to each of your school teams some of the reviews, some of those findings and results from your NASA assessment, because my challenge to you is how you continue to, number one, document some of your improvement on your SLIP planning, and what support you might need to enact some of those actions that you had decided on. But yeah, it's been a fantastic and absolutely fantastic, I wouldn't say 6 months, because we started in September last year. And I know that Medi, Junior, Aaron and myself and some of the other AAPNG team who came to visit your schools, we feel so blessed to have the opportunity to come and work with you, not just as colleagues, but also as friends. And it's a really life-changing experience for us all to be able to work together face-to-face during and beyond COVID. So thank you to everyone who did participate and contribute, and they are continuing to lead that improvement in their schools. Thanks so much.
Truly amazing work, Anna, by the schools. And I know that so many of us enjoyed all of the messages and photos that came through the WhatsApp groups, being able to see what was actually happening on the ground. So congratulations to everybody for leading learning. Teachers from PNG past schools also participated in an intensive STEM workshops in Port Moresby just a few weeks ago. And Junior, I'm going to ask if you can share with us a little of what happened at the STEM workshops. And I know that everyone knows Junior from the Australia Awards PNG office. Thanks, Junior.
Thank you, Kathy, and good afternoon, everyone online. During the Term 1 holiday, we had teachers from each of your schools. They were selected and sent to a STEM workshop that was held on the 9th to the 13th last month. So we had 16 males and 18 females participated in the STEM workshop that included provincial education officers and national department officers as well from Port Moresby who joined. The workshop was facilitated by specialists from Queensland University of Technology, Professor Venus Chandra. We had also had Dr. Senka Anderson and Dr. Andy and Dr. Daniela Gordon from QUT. And we also had a PNG local whose name was Malachi Nathaniel, who was a STEM writer who facilitated the workshop with the teachers on the ground. It was a great opportunity for the teachers. They were able to appreciate and understand and aware of what STEM was. And also they participated in workshop and activities to get their understanding around the project-based learning. And I think the past teachers were fortunate to learn about this concept on project-based learning beforehand through the past activities, and that was also commented during the workshop. They also learned about developing plans for STEM project-based learning activities during the workshop as well. There was an activity that they practiced developing a plan for a PBL activity when they go back to their schools to do PBL activities. During the workshop, they also looked at current teaching practices and challenges. We understand that the STEM curriculum was introduced to national high schools recently, and teachers, the STEM teachers in the schools are implementing those curriculum, and we also looked at the practice that's current and the challenges as well. And also they provided us with STEM pedagogies and framework in STEM education that will address some of those challenges and improve some of those teaching practices that we are currently implementing in the school. Also, an important component that they've learned was the STEM activities assessment approach. I think teachers who were participating in the workshop have learned how to the approach to assess the STEM activities. And we also understand that the STEM curriculum will be examined at the end of this year. So I think that was an important activity that they have done that will help them to do assessment in the school. As well, it was really appreciated for teachers to learn and understand that they could use integrated approach to teach STEM within the PNG curriculum. We know that PNG has biology, chemistry, physics, ICT as well taught in the school. But again, STEM, the approach that they will be using STEM in a integrated approach to teach those traditional subjects together with engineering that was newly introduced. So that was a really great workshop that I think the teachers who participated took away with them. And as I've mentioned, the key highlights were teachers appreciated they can utilize the integrating STEM within PNG curriculum using PBL approach. And I know that it will help them implement the STEM curriculum for the national high schools. As well, they have taken away learnings around developing plan for PBL activities. The participants also appreciated STEM activity assessment approach that will help them do assessment back in the schools. And I think it was good for Gumini Secondary School to step up to the challenge in delivering STEM in service what they returned from the workshop. So they were the first to deliver the STEM workshop, and congratulations to Gumini Secondary School and followed by Passam and the other schools. Thank you.
Thanks, Junior. And I think it was a really powerful model, wasn't it, where the work that our PNG teachers did with the Queensland University of Technology, they were able to take those workshops back to their schools. And it was great to see those images come through of the PBL workshops back in the school location. A really great way for everyone to learn. Okay, so that's what we've done in term 1. And now we're going to shift our focus in this meeting to what's coming up in term 2. And I just can't imagine when we come together again in 8 or 9 or 10 weeks' time, what we're going to be seeing as resulting from this term's work. It's a pretty exciting promise that we have in front of us. So, as you know, over the 2022 school year, PASS is offering learning activities for students, collaborative projects for PNG and Australian schools to undertake, and professional learning for school educators. So what's coming up in term 2 is the Student Reporters Program. That's a collaborative school project, and it builds on photo friendships. You don't have to have done photo friendships, but it builds on the idea of it. But it goes to a deeper level of learning. So PNG and Australian Year 9 and 11 students can gain an insight into the fundamentals of the role of the reporter and how to create a short audio report inspired by local events, news, and items of interest. Students will explore techniques for researching, preparing, presenting, and recording reports. So this activity has learning outcomes that are relevant to media literacy, communication, creativity, technology, teamwork, and intercultural understanding. And it can cover learning areas in English, in science, technology, geography, and history. So there's a lot of people in each school who could become involved in the Student Reporters activity. Like Photo Friendships, this activity was designed and delivered by the Australian Film, Television and Radio School. And we're very excited that some of the trainers who'll be working with the schools include young female PNG Australian writers, journalists and communicators. And that's going to be something really to look forward to. The second collaborative student learning activity that we have coming up in term 2 is the School and Community Citizen Science Project. And that's designed and delivered by Zoos Victoria in collaboration with Port Moresby Nature Park. And it's fantastic, Kirsty Costa, to see you here again with us on a PASS Google Meet. And I know that you're going to join us now and tell us about the Citizen Science Project.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. I'm just loving watching everyone in the camera. Hi from Melbourne, Australia. Kirsty Costa here. I'm coming to you live from Melbourne Zoo. I've just gone to see our new baby giraffe called Iris, and I've come back to hang out with you. Today, I'm going to tell you a bit about the learning opportunity that you've got in term 2, which is all about science and citizen science. Well, I'm really excited to tell you about this project. So just to let you know who I am, I love hippos. I don't know if anyone else likes hippopotamuses as well, but I work at Zoos Victoria, which runs 3 zoos in Melbourne: Healesville Sanctuary, Melbourne Zoo and Werribee Zoo. And I'm the Education Innovation Leader. So my job is basically to help think of new ways to teach young people about nature, science and the environment. Before we begin, I just want to tell you that I'm coming from the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation at Melbourne Zoo. Wurundjeri people have been caretakers of this land for thousands of years, and Melbourne Zoo was a really special place where Aboriginal people would come and share knowledge and information and ideas. So it's a really special place to work. And I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who are here today. So welcome, friends. I can't wait to tell you about this special learning activity that's happening in Term 2 that's brought to you by the PASS team, Port Moresby Nature Park and Zoos Victoria. So we've all been hanging out together to bring this really great project to you. So I thought we could play a quick game before we start. Hands up if there are any people who like birds in the room. Anyone here like birds? Okay, one. Thank you, Junior. Kath, okay, good. A couple of people. All right, phew. Otherwise, this is going to really not go so well. So I'm going to play a quick game with you. I'm going to share with you a bird photograph and a sound, and I'll see if you can guess what the bird is. Are you ready? We'll see if my sound works on my computer. Great. Did you hear that okay? All right. Can everyone please use the chat box and tell me what bird can you see? I hear that you've all got a designated text box writer. Okay, so I might have started with an easy one. Great. All right, so we're on to it. I think it sounds like everyone knows. Oh, Saria, good guess. Yes, looks so much like an emu, doesn't it? Close. So you are right, friends. It is a cassowary. All right, let's go with bird number 2. It's a strange sounding bird, isn't it? All right, can you use the text box and tell me what bird might this be? Oh, I can see some really good guesses. Oh, we got some people who know some stuff about birds in the room. Love it. Fantastic. All right, anyone want to have any more tries before I reveal the answer? Good one. All right, well, friends, this was not a bird that I knew either. This is actually what's called a Pacific coll. Which for those people who answered raven would be correct in the fact that it's in the same family as a crow or a raven. So nice work, friends. All right, let's go another one. Oh, does it, Brett? All right, what bird is that? Oh, Irene, quick off the back. Well done. Quick typing. Nice. Love it. Oh, you're right. It was a pelican. One of my favorite birds. They're just such weird looking birds, aren't they? And look at that crazy eye. Look at that eye that the pelican's got. Amazing. So one more. Great guesses here. I like how everyone's naming water birds because of their long legs. I love all the guesses. Thanks for playing along with me. Just a bit of fun. So that was an ibis. High five to the groups who got ibis. And anyone who identified it was a water bird is really great. I mean, we can tell by the picture that it's a water bird, and also the long legs also showed us that they're type of a bird called a wader. So that's bang on. Well done, everyone. What's interesting about these birds is that they live in both Papua New Guinea and Australia. In fact, our two countries share a lot of the same birds. During lockdown in Melbourne during COVID, I really got into bird watching. In fact, you call me now a bird nerd. I love birds. And so I've teamed up with Port Moresby Nature Park, and together we're going to get you to become bird nerds like us. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. This is what you're going to do. So basically, you're going to use your STEM knowledge and skills to join a global citizen science project around birds. That's right, Sophie. I'm so glad. Yes, let's be bird nerds together. So you're going to hear about the science of birds from two of the most well-known female scientists who know everything about birds there is to know. So that's Miriam and Catherine. So we've got some fantastic on-demand videos that you can play to learn more about the videos, more about the science of birds. You're also going to learn about bird adaptations as part of the year 9 to 11 curriculum. So let's have a quick go. So just a reminder that adaptations are parts of the bird's body that helps it to survive. I want you to have a look at this photograph of a very famous bird of paradise that we all know and love. And I want you to have a think about, in the chat box, can you tell me what is one adaptation that you can see? So what is one way that this bird's body is helping it to survive? Can you use the text box and tell me? So you might look at its face and what's happening there. You might look at how it's moving. Nice. So Kath's thinking about its camouflage. So its colours maybe looking like a flower to survive in the wild. What else can you see, friends? What else are the adaptations? So how is this bird's body helping it to survive? Nice, Junior. Good pick up. Yep. So pointed beak, which is actually holding some food. So that beak is designed for food. Great, Loretta. Yeah, so feathers, helping it to fly, helping it to camouflage. Yeah, I love those claws, Sophie. They're very impressive. Yeah, you're right, Kuno. So that beak is absolutely part of its adaptations and survival. Nice one. So we have created a teaching guide and student workbook so you can get to know the features and adaptations and classification of lots of cool birds that live in both Australia and in Papua New Guinea. Yeah, nice one, Irene. I like how you're sharing your knowledge there. Thank you. So yeah, colourful feathers as part of that mating and attraction. And yeah, how amazing is that beak and the way that it can hold such a pinpoint of a seed that it's holding in its beak. And you're right, Cedric, those long feathers that help it to fly and help it move about. Fantastic. Thanks, gang. So you'll also learn about bird migration and how actually there are a lot of birds that travel from Papua New Guinea to Australia and then from Australia back to Papua New Guinea. In fact, we share a lot of the same bird species. Oh, really, Junior? That's really interesting. Yeah, so 24 bird species make up a headdress. So yeah, there's lots to learn about birds and how we use them and how they are in the environment around us. So, for example, you're going to learn about how there's a cuckoo that lives in Papua New Guinea that travels to both Queensland and sometimes even comes as far south as here in Victoria. Also, the Pacific Coal that we heard before, I was really lucky. I actually saw one in Melbourne the other day, but they mainly hang out in Papua New Guinea. So they travel at different times of year and you'll explore the reasons why birds like to travel. So you can see that it actually travels all the way from Papua New Guinea along the east coast of Australia. Also, you're going to learn about the orange-bellied parrot, which is one of my favourite parrots that Zoos Victoria has been working to make sure that they don't become extinct in the wild, and how they travel across a really dangerous stretch of water from Melbourne to Tasmania and back. So you're going to learn all about bird migration as part of this. You're also going to learn about bird food webs as well. So there's a really special bird in Australia called the superb lyrebird. So you're going to learn all about its food web and how that food web helps it to survive in its habitat. And then you're going to go and research food webs of birds in your local area as well. You are also going to learn a bit about how to identify birds. So I've got your back, don't worry, I'm here to support you. We've got some really great resources with the Port Moresby Nature Park on how to identify birds when you go out into your schoolyard or your local area and see what birds you can find. So we will help you work out things like size and shape and what it's doing and where it's living, and this will help you work out what type of bird it is. We are also going to focus in on using a special global citizen science platform called eBird. Hands up, has anyone actually used eBird before? I know the Port Moresby Nature Park have had a little bit of a play with it, but it's actually quite a few people in Papua New Guinea are using it now, and a lot of people in Australia are using it as well. This is a global citizen science project that you're going to be part of. So after learning about birds, getting to know the birds in your local area, learning the science of bird, you're then going to use your technology skills combined with your science skills to actually get real data for scientists to use about birds. It's a really easy website to use. You can either download it on a device of your choice. And by the way, if you move away from the internet or Wi-Fi, it's okay. You can use it offline and then you can use it again when you get back to Wi-Fi and get back to the internet again. So you can either use it here or we've provided for you a sheet that you can use to record your birds. And the coolest thing is, this is the best thing I think about citizen science, is you'll be able to go onto eBird's website and find out what birds have been seen already by other people in your area. That's going to make your job much easier. You don't have to spend too long guessing because you'll actually be able to look at what birds have already been seen. So you're going to have a lot of time on the eBird website, and we've got lots of help for you in the teaching guide and student workbook so you can start to gather that data. Now, this data isn't just like collecting numbers for no reason. It actually gets used by scientists all over the world to help them make important decisions about birds and their habitats. So, for example, this is an example of how in Australia, they've been collecting data about the shining bronze cuckoo. And then that way, scientists are able to work out what's happening with the cuckoo. How is its populations going? Where is it living? What's its behaviour? How many are left in the wild? They can do that through the power of people like us, giving them important data. So it's really cool. So you're going to use your science skills, you're going to use your technology skills, and also you're going to use your math skills. So the other thing you're going to do is you're going to have your data, and if you want, you can access data that we're going to provide for you, or the data collected by other people on eBird, and you're actually going to compare it and start to use your math skills to analyse and see patterns about specific birds in your area. So you're combining all those STEM skills to actually help birds in the wild and also to build your knowledge about birds that are around you. And here's the coolest thing. Once you realise what birds are around you, whether they're being used for cultural reasons like a cultural headdress or they're just hanging out around you, you'll notice that birds are everywhere. Like they are everywhere. And it's very cool getting to know what you actually can hear, what you can actually see. It's a really nice way to be able to connect to the world around you. And sometimes it's a fun thing to be able to share with the people around you too, all the cool information about it. Once you've done that, you are going to create a scientific presentation. So we have talked to people like Emma Oliver, who is a scientist at Port Moresby Nature Park, and some of our other scientists, and they've helped us build a very simple guide on how to write a scientific report. So first you're going to write your report on what you found on eBird, what you found out about birds in your area. You're going to use the classic scientific reporting template that actually scientists use in their job, in their role in zoos. And once you do that, you're going to write it up and then you're going to create a video or a way of sharing what you found with all of us. So the scientists that I spoke about before, Kat and Miriam, along with the Port Moresby Nature team and the Zoos Victoria team, we're going to be here to help you work out what bird you're looking at. And then also we want to hear what you found out. That's really important to us and it's really important to scientists. So you could create a video, you could create a PowerPoint, you could write a report, however you want to present it. You're going to upload it to Google Classroom and then we're going to celebrate together and you can find out what everyone else found out about birds. So not only have we got our own little citizen science group, then we're going to share that data with the larger citizen science that's out there. So here are some important dates that will be sent to you as part of your calendar. First of all, we've got a special teacher workshop on Tuesday, the 7th of June, where myself and the Port Moresby team are going to help you make sure, teachers, that you're prepared and excited about this program. You can come with any questions and don't worry, if you know nothing about birds or you don't even know how to identify a bird, we will definitely help you with that. Then everyone, teachers and students, please come and join us on Tuesday, the 15th of June, where we're going to launch this program and do an introduction together. You'll get to ask questions of Miriam, who's one of our female scientists, and also we will tell you all about what you need to know and we'll walk you through it. So that's going to be a really good day as well. So that will go for another online workshop. Then on the 21st of June, you can come back and you can say, can you please tell me what bird I just saw? Or I don't even know how to use eBird. So you can come with all your questions a week later and just tell us everything that you need and we will help you out. We got your back there. Then your presentations or your scientific reports are due for Google Classrooms on the 20th of July. So that's cool. You've got a month to get this done. And I think personally that's quite a lot of time, so you'll be fine. So you'll submit your presentation then, whether it's a speech, whether it's a video, whether it's a PowerPoint with audio, however you want to upload to Google Classrooms. And then after that, you can actually go onto Google Classrooms and find out what everyone else has done. So this is a really great way that we can all learn from each other and also learn more about birds. So gang, I'm really, really excited and thrilled to be able to hang out with you over the next few months. The Zoos Victoria and Port Moresby team can't wait to meet you and hang out more with students and learn about birds together and find out everything that you know about birds and share what we know about birds to create a better environment for the world around us. So yeah, I can't wait to see you soon, gang. If you have any questions as well, you can reach out to the Port Moresby Nature Park team. They'll be on Google Classroom and so will Zoos Victoria. So we're here to support you. So we'll see you soon. So just to finish off, in the chat box, what do you think might be the most interesting thing? Or what do you think might be the most hardest thing or the challenging thing about this learning activity? Take a moment to have a chat. What do you think might be the best thing? What might be the hardest? Let's have a quick think about it before we finish off. So personally, I think one of the best things will be that you will be able to know some of the birds around you. That's really cool. Well, it's cool in my world anyway, being a bird nerd.
Okay, Kirsty. Well, as people are putting their comments and thoughts into the chat box there, we might just round off our meeting today. I'm so excited about this project, and I put down that what really excites me is being part of a global science project, that everybody is doing global research that's important. And I love the way you showed us that graph of all of that data being collected by people informing what scientists know and understand about birds. So birds are part of all of our lives, and I love the fact that we're focusing on those birds that travel between our two countries.
Yeah,
So
really
thank you.
excited about it. And Port Moresby Nature Team and Zoos Victoria, we've got your back. So all these things that I can see about things that might be really interesting and things that might be really challenging. First of all, the teaching guide and student workbook are there to help, and so's eBird to help. That comes with pictures and beautiful bird calls. And also, don't worry, maybe you won't be able to identify all the birds that you see. That's totally fine. That's part of being a citizen science. So we're really excited to have you here. And so, yeah, on behalf of our teams, thanks to the past team for helping us be part of this really exciting learning activity. And thanks to everyone for being here. We can't wait to hang out with you.
That's great. We'll all be wanting to be bird nerds, Kirsty, for sure.
I'm going to make you all a little badge that you can put on your jumper.
I reckon we'll have to have that. Thanks very much. And thanks for colleagues at Port Moresby Nature Park too. Really exciting partnership there to be working with. Okay, Nicole, were you going to go back and just put some information up on your screen about a fantastic opportunity that relates to one of our projects that we're going to do later on in the year on artificial intelligence. So one of the projects that'll happen after term 2 is on ethical understanding and artificial intelligence. And we just noticed the other day that there's this great webinar that's going to be happening through the University of Melbourne tomorrow, actually, Wednesday, the 4th of May, from 5 to 6 p.m. And it's called Machines Behaving Badly, the Morality of Artificial Intelligence. And I know that artificial intelligence and a study of it is part of the new senior STEM curriculum in Papua New Guinea. And I know it'll be highly relevant to the curriculum here in Australia as well. And this webinar is going to explore, can we build moral machines? How can we ensure that artificial intelligence acts for good instead of evil? And where do we draw the line between acceptable and bad behaviour? And I'm really looking forward to that project because we'll be sort of discussing and debating some of those things ourselves when we get to that activity. So if you want to link into that, Nicole and Sophie, we've got the link there in the chat. And I just wanted to say, if you've got your laptop there, there's lots of links in the chat through this meeting. So if you want to go through and copy some of them and put them on your desktop, that might be handy. And the link is there. And we'll send it through, Nicole, on the WhatsApp groups too. So people, if they want to join in, they can just link into that. It's all free. So thank you, everybody, for your participation today. I want to thank our presenters, Leah Santilli from National Gallery Victoria and her colleague Loretta at the National Museum and Art Gallery in Port Moresby. Kirsty, Zoos Victoria and Port Moresby Nature Park. Thank you so much for your presentations today. But mostly, thank you, everyone, students, teachers, school leaders, people from the National Department of Education in PNG, for all the work that you've done in this term on learning and learning for the future, equipping your young people to be future global citizens. You've done an amazing job, and we really look forward to working with you again in term 2 on these exciting projects. So that rounds off our meeting for today. Thank you all so much for coming, and see you again soon. Goodbye.